Hey, what's up, team? I'm Josh Hayhurst, a performance athlete here at Superdojo, and today I'm going to wrap my fists with the brand new Hyper Fight Club hand wraps. You know who Hyper Fight Club is. They provide a motivational and life-changing experience for athletes worldwide and give them the belief, desire, and the confidence to live their life. All right, team, let's wrap our hands. So first, unravel your giant hand wrap roll. Check it out. It says "We train to win" on one side, and it says "this side up." Focus. There we go. So this is the part that we start with. I always like to do my right hand first. So you're going to stick your thumb through this little hole, just like this, and then go on the back of your hand, just like this. And it's pretty obvious, right? We train to win, and this side up should be up. So from right here, you're going to go over the top and wrap it underneath your thumb around your wrist, up as high on those wrist bones as possible, 3 times. So I'm going to call this area right here every single time. That's home base. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. Part 1 is complete. All right, the next part we want to do is go over our thumb, just like that. We go over the top and then back down to home base. Now, this is going to be a really important part when you're making fists. Your thumb is actually going to pull your knuckle wrap tighter, which is awesome. Then go over the back of your wrist, trying to keep those wraps flat as possible as you do it. And we're back to home base. Now it's time to get into the important stuff. You're going to go over the back of your knuckles this time, just like that. Over the top. 1, 2, 3. And back to here. Now this is similar to our home base, but it's over our thumb. So it's in between. It's in our little gun position, right? So like a pretend gun. We put it like this. And you'll see that there's a piece of skin that's open right there. We're going to cover that up over to the back of our wrist, see? And we're back to home base again. So this looks like it's wrapped pretty well, but it's not tight enough. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be fancy and go in between our ring finger and our pinky, just like that. So in between there. Then you're going to go through your gun. Remember, that's above your thumb, just like this. Over the top, back through your gun again. Then this is the part where the rest of your wraps get super tangled up. That's all right. Keep them straight as you can. Go over the back of your wrist. And then back to home base again. Now it starts to look really cool at this point. You can see how the layers really overlap. It looks awesome. Just wait till the end. Now we're at home base. We're going to go in between here. I call that the Spock. You know what I'm talking about. You go in between the Spock just like this. Then through your gun again, trying to keep it all straight. The flatter you can keep your wraps as you wrap it, the tighter they're going to be. And you can tell because you take your gloves off, you put pads on and stuff. You want to make sure that your wraps don't come untied every single time. So after we went through the Spock, we go through the gun, over the back of our knuckles, and then through the gun again. And then over the back of your wrist, back to home base. Pretty easy, right? The next step is going to be the peace sign, but we're going to switch directions a little bit. So you're going to go through the peace sign just like that. We're at our palm now. Instead of going through the gun first, we're going to go the opposite way, underneath our palm to our pinky side, then over the back of your knuckles, just like this. Do that one more time so we end up here, just like that. Then you're going to go all the way across the back of your hand, back to home base, but we're upside down. We're over the top of it now. So once you're at this position, we're going to finish this wrap up completely as high on our wrist as we can. There's no need to wrap all the way down the line. The only reason you do that is just cosmetic purposes, and we don't need to look pretty while we're working out. So keep it high on your wrist to protect those bones and keep them tight. Finish the wrap all the way, just like that. And when you're done, it should look very solid. See how solid that looks? It looks awesome. Man, I want to take some pictures of this. But one thing that you got to remember is the palm side. This is really thick. What we want to do is curl it just like this. We want to roll it up to the top, right where the calluses of our hands are, and open up as much of this as possible. You want to have this balled up here, just like that. so that you have something to squeeze, all right? Now, when you squeeze and you bend your thumb, all of those wraps, all the different layers are gonna pull your fist tighter and tighter, and you're gonna be able to protect all of the little muscles and ligaments inside your fist. You're gonna protect the knuckles if you're doing some strikes without your gloves, and you're gonna protect your wrist. And the most important punch that we have to worry about is gonna be the hook punch, because a lot of people, when they do a hook punch, they turn their wrist a little bit, and that actually will really hurt if you just catch that pad in the wrong way. Oh, I guess now I gotta repeat the process on the other side. Give me 1 second. Okay, I got my second one wrapped and we're good to go. Team, one last thing about when you wrap your hands, all right? Sometimes they're gonna be a little bit too tight and you're gonna feel your hand throbbing. And when I wrap someone's hands for the first time, I always ask, am I cutting off the circulations to your finger? Because you don't want your fingers to turn purple. But there's two important things to consider about wrapping your hands too tight, okay? Number one, if it's too tight, it's gonna be very uncomfortable. And that's a good thing when you're training, especially when you're training in self-defense or any type of combat sports. Because the more uncomfortable you are when you're training, the more you get out of your comfort zone, the more confidence you're gonna build. And that's gonna help you when you're sparring, or even if you get into a tournament or you're in a point fight. It's very important. And on the other hand, you want to have common sense, because if you're cutting off the circulation to your hand for an entire hour, it is not good for you. It's not going to be good long term. You're actually going to cause another type of injury, even though you're preventing an injury to your wrist or the bones in your hand. So we want to make sure that we're a little bit uncomfortable by coming out of our comfort zone, but we don't want to be so uncomfortable that it's going to cause an injury. All right, team, that's how you wrap your hands. Before you show up to your next class, be sure to be a few minutes early so you have plenty of time to wrap your hands up. Have your Hyper Fight Club boxing gloves, because those things are awesome. They're high quality and they're gonna last a really long time. And your Hyper Fight Club t-shirt. Even though I have my Superdojo t-shirt, just give me 1 second. That's better. See you in the next class.
Hyper Fight Club.